Welcome to the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner Prepcast, where we guide you through everything you need to know for your certification exam. Whether you're just starting or looking to refine your knowledge, this course will set you up for success. Brought to you by baremetalcyber.com. Let's get started. When managing AWS costs, two services work together as your guardrails and microscope: AWS Budgets and AWS Cost Explorer. Budgets let you set thresholds so you don't drift off plan, while Cost Explorer gives you the visibility to understand where your money is going. Think of budgets as your financial alarm system, alerting you before a surprise grows too large. Cost Explorer, by contrast, is your investigative tool, letting you slice, group, and drill into data. On the exam, the distinction is straightforward. Budgets are proactive alerts, while Cost Explorer is retroactive analysis. Together, they are core to financial governance in AWS. Budgets come in several types. You can set cost budgets to cap total spend, usage budgets to monitor specific resource consumption, and reserved instance or savings plan budgets to track coverage and utilization. These categories let you control not only how much money is spent, but also how efficiently commitments are being used. For example, a team might create a cost budget for overall monthly spend and a utilization budget to ensure their reserved instances are above 80% usage. On the exam, phrases like monitor coverage or track utilization point directly to budgets as the right service. Thresholds in budgets can be set as absolute numbers or percentages. You can say, "Alert me at $1,000 spend," or "Alert me when we reach 80% of the monthly forecast." These thresholds allow both rigid guardrails and proportional ones. The system can track both actual spend and forecasted spend, so you get early warnings even before you cross a threshold. Notifications are sent through email or via SNS topics, enabling automation such as creating tickets or triggering Lambda actions. The exam often cues this with "Alert when spend exceeds threshold." The right answer is AWS Budgets with notification mechanisms. Budgets can also be scoped by tag or account, allowing very targeted control. For instance, you might set one budget for Project Alpha resources tagged accordingly and another for Team Beta in a separate AWS account. This granularity ensures accountability. Cycles can be monthly, quarterly, or annual, giving you flexibility to match organizational review rhythms. On the exam, if you see, quote, "allocate budgets per team or project," the answer is tag or account scoped budgets. This is how AWS bridges the technical with the organizational, letting finance and engineering collaborate meaningfully. Cost Explorer, on the other hand, is about analysis. It allows you to filter and group costs by service, region, usage type, or other dimensions. You can change the granularity of time from daily to monthly, spotting patterns that might otherwise be hidden. Perhaps storage costs spike mid-month, or networking egress balloons every weekend. Cost Explorer's filters and visualizations help you connect those dots. On the exam, if a scenario says analyze cost trends or identify usage by region, Cost Explorer is the tool in play. Its power lies in turning raw billing into understandable stories. A key feature of Cost Explorer is its different cost views: amortized, unblended, and blended. Amortized costs spread one-time payments, like upfront RI purchases, across their term, showing their effective rate. Unblended costs show raw line item charges per account, while blended costs average rates across accounts in an organization. On the exam, watch for cues like analyze effective hourly rate of RI commitments. The answer is amortized view. This distinction is critical for understanding why numbers may differ across reports. AWS gives you these perspectives so you can align financial views with operational needs. Cost Explorer also offers right-sizing recommendations. It can detect idle or underutilized instances and suggest smaller instance sizes or alternative models. This proactive analysis saves money by ensuring resources match actual workloads. On the exam, if you see identify underutilized EC2 instances for optimization, Cost Explorer is the service. The important thing is that budgets alerts you to thresholds, while Cost Explorer helps you dig into why they happened and what to do next. Right sizing is one of its most practical applications. For commitments, Cost Explorer provides visuals of reserved instance and savings plan utilization and coverage. You can see whether your commitments are fully used and how much of your baseline they cover. This transparency prevents overbuying or underutilizing. On the exam, cues like Visualize RI Coverage point to Cost Explorer. In real life, these visuals help teams confirm whether commitments are paying off or need adjustment. The tool brings governance down to practical dashboards. Dimensioning is another strength. Costs can be sliced by service, by region, by usage type, and more. For example, you can see exactly how much S3 storage in one region costs versus EC2 in another. You can filter by tags to align costs with departments. This granular analysis lets you pinpoint hotspots. Exam phrases like filter costs by service or group by usage type always map to Cost Explorer. It is the microscope for spending, showing not just totals but their breakdown. Saved reports and scheduled deliveries make Cost Explorer even more useful. You can create standard views, for example, daily compute cost by service, and email them automatically to stakeholders. This creates a rhythm of financial awareness. On the exam, cues like, quote, automatically email cost reports point to Cost Explorer. It reinforces AWS's principle that financial governance is a team sport. Tools exist to make cost visibility easy and repeatable across the organization. For deeper analysis, Cost Explorer links with the Cost and Usage Report, or QR. QR provides line item detail, and Cost Explorer sits on top as a friendlier, more visual layer. Exam questions may phrase this as, for detailed downstream analytics, which tool feeds BI systems? The answer is CUR, with Cost Explorer as its higher-level sibling. This relationship reflects the layered approach. Start with Explorer for overviews. Drill into CUR for granular investigations. Finally, anomaly detection is worth mentioning. Even though it is a separate service, AWS Cost Anomaly Detection uses machine learning to spot unusual patterns in spend. While it is not part of budgets or Cost Explorer, it often gets referenced alongside them. On the exam, remember the distinction: budgets for thresholds, Cost Explorer for analysis, and anomaly detection for unusual patterns. Keeping these roles separate ensures you pick the right tool in multiple choice scenarios. The exam cue to remember is simple. Budgets equal proactive alerts, Cost Explorer equals retroactive analysis. If you see set threshold, send alert, think budgets. If you see filter by service, group by region, think Cost Explorer. Together, they represent AWS's philosophy of governance. Prevent surprises with guardrails, and then investigate with clear visibility when trends emerge. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. A strong practice with budgets is to build them at the owner level. Instead of only one high-level budget for the entire organization, create budgets per product, per team, or even per project. This creates accountability, making it clear who is responsible for each cost center. A development team running new workloads can receive alerts when their environment drifts over forecast. A production team can track their baseline spend. On the exam, when you see the phrase create budgets per team or workload, the correct answer is to scope budgets with tags or accounts so that each owner gets clear visibility and responsibility. Cost allocation tags and account structures are what make this granularity possible. By tagging resources with labels like Projecta or Department 123, you can filter both budgets and Cost Explorer to show only those tagged items. In multi-account setups, you can align each account with the team or business unit, then roll up totals in AWS organizations. Exam cues such as allocate spend across projects or track by department point directly to tagging and account design. Without tags, costs blur together. With tags, ownership is clear, and optimization efforts can be tracked properly. Budgets are also useful for monitoring commitment coverage. By creating budgets for reserved instances or savings plans, you ensure that utilization stays high. If coverage slips below target, alerts can be sent. This prevents wasted commitments. The exam may describe, quote, monitor RI utilization, and the correct tool is budgets. Meanwhile, Cost Explorer complements this with graphs showing coverage and utilization visually. Together, these tools close the loop. Budgets alert you when coverage fails, and Cost Explorer shows you why. Both are essential for protecting financial efficiency in the cloud. Cost Explorer is especially helpful for drilling into cost spikes. Imagine seeing a sudden increase in the bill. With Explorer, you filter by service to see where it originates. Next, filter by usage type to identify specifics, such as data transfer or API requests. This drill-down method is the standard practice. Spike, filter by service, filter by usage type. On the exam, cues like investigate a cost spike by service point to Cost Explorer. This step-by-step approach highlights Explorer's role as the microscope, showing the hidden drivers behind totals. Networking spikes are a common example. Cross-AZ traffic, egress to the internet, or inter-region transfers all drive up bills. Cost Explorer makes these visible with filters for transfer types. On the exam, if a scenario mentions detect unexpected transfer costs, the answer is to filter with Cost Explorer. The lesson is that many hidden costs, especially network-related, only surface when you analyze them with the right dimension filters. Cost Explorer provides that visibility. Storage optimization also benefits from Explorer's lens. By filtering by storage class, you can see how much is being spent on S3 standard versus standard IA or Glacier. This highlights where lifecycle policies could cut costs. The exam might ask, how do you identify savings opportunities in storage tiers? The answer is Cost Explorer, with dimensioning by storage class. Explorer gives the data to back lifecycle changes, making them measurable. Storage cost efficiency starts with seeing class mix clearly. Compute optimization follows a similar path. Cost Explorer can reveal idle hours, oversized instances, or low utilization patterns. This connects directly to right-sizing recommendations, where Explorer suggests smaller instance types or alternative purchasing models. On the exam, if you see detect oversized instances or identify idle compute, the tool is Cost Explorer. The best practice is to pair this visibility with budgeting alerts. Budgets catch the drift, Explorer explains the drift, and right-sizing actions close the loop. Forecast realism is another benefit of combining budgets and Explorer. Budgets track against forecasts, while Explorer shows historical trends, including seasonal effects. A marketing campaign may double traffic every December. A launch may spike traffic in spring. These events must be built into forecasts, or budgets will fire unnecessarily. On the exam, when a question mentions seasonal forecasting, the right association is combining budgets and Explorer with awareness of seasonality. This demonstrates that financial governance must account for real-world business cycles. Governance practices tie the tools into a workflow. A best practice is to review budgets and Explorer outputs monthly with both engineering and finance. This ensures alignment between what teams are building and what the business is funding. On the exam, cues like monthly review cadence or joint engineering finance governance point to this practice. Cost control is not just technical, it is organizational. By building reviews into rhythm, surprises are minimized and accountability is shared. Automation makes these tools even more effective. Budget alerts can send SNS notifications that integrate with chat systems or create tickets automatically. This ensures that overspend warnings reach the right people quickly. On the exam, if a scenario says automate response to budget thresholds, the answer is to integrate budgets with SNS and workflows. This prevents alerts from being ignored and builds cost awareness directly into team communication channels. Measuring unit economics alongside raw spend is another advanced practice. Instead of only tracking dollars, measure cost per customer, per request, or per unit of work. Cost Explorer supports this by allowing you to group and filter costs in ways that match business metrics. On the exam, if a scenario mentions per unit of service, Explorer is the right answer. This practice makes cloud costs relatable to business outcomes, not just technical categories. Documenting savings actions is equally important. When you adjust storage tiers, shut down idle instances, or apply savings plans, record the changes and their outcomes. This creates a feedback loop where teams learn which actions work and how much they save. On the exam, cues like document optimization outcomes point to governance practices built on budgets and Explorer. This turns cost management into a continuous improvement cycle. Common pitfalls include untaxed assumptions and missing tags. If estimates assume traffic is free or storage requests don't count, surprises will follow. Similarly, if resources are untagged, costs cannot be allocated properly. On the exam, a scenario describing inability to allocate costs signals missing tags, while surprise data transfer costs signals incorrect assumptions. Awareness of these pitfalls ensures you avoid distractors and choose the best practice answer. The cultural dimension should not be forgotten. Celebrating cost optimizations reinforces the right behaviors. When a team saves money by shutting down idle resources or right-sizing, share the results. This encourages others to do the same. On the exam, a phrase like reinforce cost awareness across teams points to cultural practices. AWS frames cost optimization as both a technical and cultural discipline. By recognizing cost-saving wins, organizations build momentum toward efficiency. From an exam perspective, the takeaway is clear. Use budgets to set thresholds and prevent surprises. Use Cost Explorer to analyze past spend and find cost drivers. Together, they form the backbone of AWS cost governance. Budgets are the alarms. Cost Explorer is the microscope. By using both consistently, you align technical design with financial discipline, reducing waste and ensuring accountability across teams. That concludes today's episode of the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner Prepcast. Be sure to tune in for the next episode and visit us online at baremetalcyber.com or cyberauthor.me for more resources, including news, mailing lists, YouTube videos, podcasts, and much more.